What's up, everybody? Charlie Marlow here. Trying to do more videos on video for you. Maybe branch out a little bit. I do want to talk about politics, but I'm not really going to get political. I'm not going to be divisive. I'm not going to be talking, oh, Democrats are great or Republicans are great or that side sucks or that side sucks. More about just politics in general and how we consume them in this country because obviously, look, we got an election coming up here in less than 2 weeks. But it made me think, doesn't it feel like we're constantly in an election cycle? You hear all the time, this is the most important election of your life. And this next one is the most important election of your life. And don't get me wrong, all elections are important. They are. And midterms are very important. Presidential elections, obviously, very important. But I feel like back in the day, maybe it's because I was younger, but you really kind of paid attention during the presidential election cycle, and it ramped up that spring, that summer, that year, and then you had the presidential election. Everybody kind of just chilled out, and then you did it again 4 years from now. And of course, you always knew that the midterm elections were important, and maybe now so people are realizing they're even more important. But it just feels like we're in this perpetual 24/7, 365 election cycle, which I don't think is good for all of our brains in terms of just always feeling like we're in this hyper politicized atmosphere. I mean, the second that the midterms end and however it ends up, I feel like we're going to automatically get right into the 2024 election cycle. I mean, obviously now Donald Trump is already doing rallies, and if Joe Biden runs, I mean, he's the president, so you don't have to necessarily do rallies, but I feel like the second that these elections end, coming up in 2 Tuesdays, and I do think that we're probably going to have to wait a couple days for the results. I think that's probably what's going to happen all the time now in elections. But whenever we process that, and we say, okay, Republicans took the House, or Republicans took the House and Senate, or maybe the Republicans take the House and the Democrats hold on to the Senate barely, whatever it is. Whatever happens, I feel like we'll process that for maybe a week or so. Maybe we let it go through the holidays. I don't know. But I feel like the second the holidays end, it's going to be right back into focusing on the 2024 presidential election. And the only reason I kind of say all this is just it feels like that if you're consuming a lot of news. And to be honest with you, I don't like to consume political news at all. And this is coming from somebody who's was in the news business for 17 years on TV. And when I say consuming news, this is my opinion. You can agree, disagree. I think all cable news is junk. And I say that because I just think whether you're watching a right-leaning program or a channel or a left-leaning program, I just think you're getting basically the agenda from a certain political party. So I myself, I try not to watch that stuff at all. I basically consume my news mostly from Twitter. I like to focus on kind of data-driven sites. If you're going out there, if you want to know about COVID or what's going on with the stock market or what's going on with the real estate market, inflation, look at it historically, find some context with what's going on. That's how I like to consume the news. And to be honest with you, I feel like I'm much happier as a person. Tell me, do you feel that way? Do you feel happier when you watch the news? I'm not saying that you should have your head in the sand. And I think the local news still does a really good job of informing you about things important in your area. And I know more local news is having some national stories and all that, but I don't think you're getting as much agenda-driven news, which you can get everywhere. I'm not just blaming cable news big picture, because look, Facebook, YouTube, Twitter, whatever website you like to look at, it just seems like we're constantly in an election cycle. And I don't think that's a good thing. I wonder even. So here I am, I'm living in St. Louis, Missouri. I'm from Ohio, so I follow Ohio politics a little bit. But do you think it's good that seemingly everybody knows what's going on with the John Fetterman, Dr. Oz Senate campaign in Pennsylvania? I mean, is that a good thing? It's good to be informed, but like everybody's locked into that. Everybody's locked into Herschel Walker versus Raphael Warnock in Georgia, and Tim Ryan versus J.D. Vance in Ohio. And that is one that I would have paid attention to, but that's because I'm from Ohio and lived in Ohio for 18 years. But I just feel like, man, everybody knows about everything with the balance of power in the Senate. And I understand that's very, very important. I just feel like we live in this perpetual election cycle that just never ends. And I don't think it's good for our brains. I don't think it's good for our emotions. I don't think it's good for our relationships with friends and family. Truthfully, I don't even like talking about politics. And I understand it sounds dumb because I'm talking to you about politics right now on this video. And by the way, I'm trying to branch off more and do some non-sports stuff. And if you guys like these videos, I'll continue. And if you don't, I'll just get back to Cardinals baseball and all that. So look, you guys will be the judge and jury with all that. I'm just thinking to myself, like, back in the day, you focused on politics, you didn't talk about it as much, and now nonstop, your friends are sending you articles and texts, and there's hilarious memes, don't get me wrong. The memes, some of these political memes with the Halloween costumes these days are really, really funny. But I just know that I'm happier when I don't watch the news constantly. And truthfully, I never watch cable news unless there's a big story. Unfortunately, like if there's a school shooting, what happened in St. Louis. If there is an election going on, I do feel like I flip around and look at the different channels for election coverage, because some nights that's the best place to go. But you're daily, like every day, tuning in to what I would call agenda-driven news. And I'm not focusing on any particular channel because I think at this point, all of the channels do the same thing. And I just know personally that I'm happier as a person. I have a better attitude when I don't watch the news. And it's funny because, so doing radio the last 14 years or so, you know, you're on different shows that focus on different things. Some of them are just straight up sports. Some of them are sports and pop culture and guy talk, and you know, politics always comes in here or there. And the show I'm on currently, I feel like focuses on politics more so than probably any show I've been on. And even though I enjoy talking about politics and even arguing and debating, I feel like I kind of enjoy my life more when I don't have to tune into the news every day. Because this is what I'm trying to say. If I know there's going to be a big political discussion on the show the next day, I feel like I have to be informed on the topic. And before that, it wasn't like I put my head in the sand, because I still feel like I know what's going on in the world, but I just didn't feel the need to be this, I'm not even going to say expert, but just know every single story, know every single political argument that you're gonna have the next day, and make sure you're just constantly reading whatever's going on in the Georgia Senate race, and Kerry Lake in Arizona, and Ron Johnson in Wisconsin, and again Fetterman versus Dr. Oz, and Ohio Senate race, and Herschel Walker versus Raphael Warnock. I don't know. It's good to be informed, but I just feel like I'm trying to wrap this up and describe it properly. I just feel like too many people are just too obsessed with politics. And you got to be informed, and there are some serious issues out there. I'm not trying to discount that, but I think too many people, like, so much of their identity is either being a Democrat or being a Republican, or I'm a Fox News guy, or I'm a MSNBC person, I'm a CNN person. I don't know. I just don't think that's a good thing. Am I wrong? Is it a good thing, like in your Twitter bio, that it's all about you're either MAGA or you're, hashtag resist? And look, it's fine to be a Democrat. It's fine to be a Republican. I just feel like everybody just needs to chill out a little bit. Am I wrong? If I'm wrong, if you guys disagree, this is what I want these videos to be about. Please comment and tell me if I'm wrong. Tell me if I'm right. Is it crazy these days with politics? Do we talk about it too much? Is it too much in your face, social media, cable news, all that? If you like this video, please give me a like. I really want your comments. And also, if you haven't subscribed to this channel, give us a subscribe. Again, I just want to talk about current events and all that. My goal is never to be divisive and say, oh, I'm right and you're wrong. I understand we live in a very complex world. And there's a lot of great Democrats and great Republicans out there. And sometimes you agree on half the things or 60% of the things. And this party does some things well, but not the other. That's how I feel. I mean, I vote a certain way, but I feel like the opposition party, there's a lot of things I agree with of how they like to look at policy. But at the end of the day, you punch the ticket for the D or the R. in this country. So I don't know. I'm kind of rambling. Maybe I'll do some more of these. But again, please like, comment. If you've gotten to this point, give us a subscribe. We appreciate it. And have a great weekend. It's Friday. It's Halloween weekend, even though Halloween is on a Monday. Should be fun for you and the kids. The weather is fantastic here in St. Louis. I'm looking at beautiful fall colors, orange, yellow, green, red. It's a good time to be alive. Maybe just don't focus on politics. Go out there and vote. I want you to vote. But like, stop talking to your friends about it, right? Stop making it so much just the biggest part of your life. Or maybe I'm wrong. I don't know. Who knows? Like, I'm in my brain. I'm constantly just wondering, am I right? Am I wrong? I don't even know. Who knows? Comment. I'll shut up. See ya.